Hello again, everybody. I'm Rob Coble, and welcome to Yellowtail Talks Tech. As I mentioned, I'm Rob Coble. I'm the career success coach here at Yellowtail. And today I'm joined by Kevin Apollinario. And I want Kevin to introduce himself, if you would, because you're a man that wears many hats.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you for having me here. I greatly appreciate it. My name is Kevin Apollinario. I've been in IT for about roughly 7 years. I have a weird background because I worked in restaurant prior to going into IT. So I have about roughly 12 years of restaurant experience. I have 4 years in NYPD. I use my customer service skills. A lot of people, they downplay people skills because when you're working with executives and C-level folks, you have to know how to break it down in a non-tech way. So I use my soft skills, I use my people skills, and I transfer that over to IT. And I got my first job in IT, not because of my skills, but because of my soft skills. At the end of the day, that's what got me hired in my first job. And going into all the jobs I worked in an MSP, I worked for Apple, I worked for executives, C-level folks, all VP support roles, and now I currently work in cybersecurity. So that in a nutshell is a little bit about me.
Nice. You know, I say that all the time, man. One of my favorite sayings is if you lead with good soft skills or good professional skills, you'll have that many more opportunities to show off your technical skills. You know, I think that the number one question everybody asks themselves in any networking or interview situation is, could I stand to look at and sit next to this person for 8 to 10 hours a day without wanting to kill them? So it's like, yeah, you got to have those good skills. And I'm really glad that you brought up the soft skills because it's extremely important talking to the varied groups of people that you're going to have to deal with.
No, I definitely agree with you. I've been in a room where I worked a lot with executives and I tell people like I'm not gonna talk bad about anyone or anything, but the thing is like you're like you could be the most technical person in the room and you could have over 10 certifications and you could be so good at your job and being so technical, but at the end of the day is if you go into a room and if you cannot explain something like they're your mom and dad in a non-tech way, they're gonna ask you to leave. Simple as that. Like I've been in a room like that with executives where they had me go in the room because they had a person previous to me go into the room and they were just too damn technical. It's like, I don't want someone that's too technical. I just want to know if it works, if it doesn't work. That's all I care about. So,
well, and then subsequently when you're speaking to the VP of tech or the CTO, then sometimes you're going to have to like sharpen your pencil a little bit and up your game. So it works both ways there. Mm-hmm. So, you know, but when we started our conversation today, you know, you were talking about mindset and, you know, at Yellowtail, our mission, our goal is to help people with no IT experience get their first high-paying job in IT. And when you mentioned you're coming from a restaurant background, we had a graduate recently that just got his first job. Shout out to Joseph out there who had a restaurant background as well. And but tell me your thoughts on mindset. What kind of mindset do you need to have in order to succeed in IT?
So for IT, I always tell everyone IT is you could work IT, but it's not for everyone. You have to have strong analytical thinking. That's number one. Number two is you got to be able to find the answer. Be like a black belt in Google Fu. So that's number two for me. Number three is having the ability not to give up. So a lot of people that are brand new to IT, and I'm going to say it straight up, like the hiring process is so difficult right now. So the thing is that a lot of people go into IT assuming that if I get this cert, if I get that cert, if I get this cert, I could get a job in IT. Or if I have this degree, I can get a job in IT. But then what happens is the hiring managers or the job market is like, no, we're not going to hire you because you have no experience, right? So that's extremely important. You have the right mindset to go into those jobs that you're applying for because you're going to get a lot of no's. I'll be honest with you. You're gonna get a lot of no's when you're brand new to IT because they're gonna say, you have no experience. Why should I hire you?" Right? You're brand new. What do you have to bring to the table? Which is why I always talk about the having the right mindset, having the right attitude, not to give up. Because a lot of people, when they start IT, they apply for X amount of jobs, and only a handful of jobs they give you an opportunity to do an interview. You go to do the interview, and then you get a no, you get another no, you get another no, you get another no, and then that it goes back to mindset right there, because you just want to give up after that. Man, no one wants to hire me. Is this job? Is IT for me? Is it worth me to come into IT? I see no one's hiring me for some reason. So you got to have a really strong mindset in IT. But I promise everyone that's listening to this today that if you have the right mindset, you don't give up, you keep applying, you keep fixing your resume, you tailor your resume to the job, and you work on your personal skills, not only your personal skills, but your actual tech skills, and you actually show that to the hiring manager, someone was going to give you a chance. Once you have that opportunity, it's like a stepping stone. You take that first step in IT, and then the sky's the limit after that. You have all that experience after that. So then when you go to the next job, it becomes a lot easier. As you go and move up the ladder, it becomes a lot easier for you, and you're able to progress your career after that.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Again, soft skills. That's what's going to get you noticed. And I don't know if you've ever in your past career been involved in sales. I come from a sales and marketing background. And one of the things that they teach you in sales is the equation 20 no's equals 1 yes. And they tell you that because they teach you to embrace the no's. Because if you're not hearing no, that means you're not out there doing your job. And each time you hear a no, you tell yourself, okay, I've gotten it out of the way. That's one closer to yes. So I only need a couple more no's and I'm going to get that yes. So it again, it's mindset, it's training your mind. And if you're not somebody that can handle rejection, well, you're going to have a tough time in life in general, I think, because it's going to happen,
No, I 100% agree with you. That's what happened to me. I'll be honest with you. So one of my second job in IT, I got 150 rejections before I got my second job in IT. I had one manager. He interviewed me. He never showed up on the interview. He actually just gave me an excuse. He never showed up. I was actually on site in person. He never showed up. I had another interview that the manager laughed at my face because like, why should I hire you? You have no experience. I had another interview where they asked me technical questions about technologies that existed in the 80s. It has nothing to do with the current technology. And I'm like, why are you asking me these questions? It has nothing to do with my resume, nothing to do with the job posting. It's just so frustrating. Then I went and I did another interview, and the same thing. Like literally, I did an interview, and they had like 5 people staring at me and all asking me technical questions. I'm being shot and attacked over here left and right from different people in the same room. And then the last one that got me the job was a hedge fund that I worked for or I worked with in the past, and they gave me an opportunity. And the reason why is not because of my tech skills, it's because of my soft skills, because of showing that I'm able to have empathy for the client, showing that I care about the client, showing that you're having like this person's having a bad day. I'm not like I don't take it personal. Like, if you take it personal, that's gonna mess you up. So you don't take it personal. If someone's having a bad day, they're having a bad day. It's for a reason. Like the likelihood of that is because something happened at home or something personal happened in their personal life. You don't know what's going on with them. So don't take it personal. And the hiring manager really liked my personality. I'm gonna give you a chance because you're someone that I know that could represent the company in the right way. You're not gonna be screaming and yelling at the client. You're going to be empathetic and you're going to take care of their issues. So I'm going to give you a chance. And then that's what happened. I got the job. Years later, I have experience now, but years later now after that, it's all about soft skills. It's all about people skills. It's all about showing the hiring manager as to why they should hire you and why you're the perfect candidate for the role. So
I had a young lady that I worked with a while back that went on her interview, or she did the phone screener and they loved her, right? And then they brought her in to do the test and all that kind of stuff. And when they came out from looking at her test and everything, they kind of looked at her and they were like, man, you just bombed the test. And then in the next second, this big smile came across their face as she said, but we want to hire you because we can teach you this stuff a lot easier than we can teach somebody else how to have your attitude, how to have that smile on your face. They just absolutely loved her. So, I think that a lot of people in tech, and for me, I come from a background of working with a lot of gamers. So I'm working with very young, mostly white males that are 20, 21 that have never worked in their life, or if they have, it was, a retail job or something that, wasn't really a career. It was just a job. Right. So they didn't have the interpersonal skills, mostly because they grew up behind a screen. They didn't have that interactive. They were playing games all the time and everything. And when we try to talk to them about branding yourself and setting up your brand and becoming or projecting that image that you want people to see, it was kind of a hard sell for me. One thing that I loved when I looked at your LinkedIn profile was you had some tips on your page that I thought were fantastic. And in fact, I'm going to pull it back up here because I'd like to talk about LinkedIn a little bit, if you don't mind. You get it. You seem to understand the importance of branding yourself, the importance of being a good steward or a good ambassador to the industry, and that people are going to notice you when you do certain things. So tell me about what's a daily day on LinkedIn look like for you?
Me, I'm always active on LinkedIn. So I'm always active. So the reason why anyone that's listening today, if you really take to heart what I'm going to tell you right now, then you'll definitely grow on LinkedIn. Like literally, and not to sound random, but literally, someone just got a job today because they followed my instructions. They got a job today in cybersecurity sales and cybersecurity support. The reason why they got that job, nothing to do with their resume. They don't have A+, they don't have security plus. They got hired because they were on LinkedIn. Simple as that. Nothing crazy. So thing is with LinkedIn is that you got to keep in mind that LinkedIn is all about being a resource. Be a resource on LinkedIn. Like, what can I do to help you? How can I help you? What do you need from me? So it's all about being a resource on LinkedIn. A lot of people that come to LinkedIn, they come and post that they're looking for a job or they're desperate for a job. They're asking for something. It's all about me. So it cannot be that way on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is all about giving back to the community, and then they will give back to you 10 times fold. If you put yourself out there and you really take the time to brand yourself and show people that you care about other people, like having empathy, and you care that you want to help other people, and you want to lift people up, because a lot of people that come to LinkedIn, they think it's Facebook. It's not Facebook. They're two different things. So you got to realize that LinkedIn is not Facebook. LinkedIn is more about lifting people up, being positive, being creative, being a resource, helping other people. When you have someone that's on your LinkedIn that is feeling down or they're having a bad day, you lift them up, right? At the end of the day, LinkedIn is like that. You motivate and lift people up, which is why I have so many followers on LinkedIn because of that, because I don't talk about anything bad or anything negative. I'm always positive about life because I look at it that way. That's how I am. My mindset is that way. It's always about being positive and genuinely trying to help people. I don't ask for favors or anything. So that's how my LinkedIn was able to grow. Was literally, I had 9,000 followers in 2021. Now I have 30,000 followers, and this is 2023. The reason for that is not because I'm famous or whatever. Nothing to do with that. It's because I took the time to help other people. I took the time to be a resource. I took the time to comment on someone else's comment section. Someone's, oh, I need help with this. Okay, I'll give you some free wishes. Go to this website. Oh, I need to know how to get. I need to know. I'm studying the A+ right now. Who do you go to? And I recommend. Oh, go to Professor Messer. He has free videos on YouTube. So you really gotta put yourself out there. Fix your LinkedIn profile. Fix your LinkedIn URL. Make sure you have a professional photo of yourself. Put technical keywords on LinkedIn so then people can find you. At the end of the day, that's what it is. is all about social branding. When you brand yourself in such a way that it's just genuine, it's all about being yourself, right? So if you're genuine about everything, things will work out for you. Things will just come together and you'll be fine after that. So
yeah, I love it, man. And I'm going to do a disclaimer here, or a little caveat to what you just said there, because I share the same attitude as you, brother. I have a good life, man. I love my life, and I love my job, and I love what I do. So I tend to be pretty happy. But you know what? We all have those days where, come on, everything's just dragging. You're carrying a 200-pound weight behind you and everything. And you're going to have those days. But you know what? Nobody wants to hear about it. You know what I mean? It's like LinkedIn is not the place to air dirty laundry or put negative vibes out there, because, that's not what people are using this for. This isn't a public display or a public forum for you to, get down on, or bash your old job or your old boss or something like that. And, you talk about that on your tips here. Be helpful on social media. Don't bash other people's failure. Try to be positive, uplift other people breaking into IT cybersecurity. And you know what? For the people that are new to IT, and they're like, well, I don't have anything to offer. And you know what? If you've been in IT for 1 month, then you can offer 1 month more than the guy that started today. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So, yeah. So it's kind of like, it's all a matter of how you look at it, getting back to that mindset again.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know what's funny? You say that. What's funny about that is, and I tell people, if it took you 2 hours to fix a problem, write about it. Write about that problem you resolve on your own, because someone may be reading your post on LinkedIn. So instead of them spending 2 hours to fix a problem that you had, they know how to fix it now, right? So literally, you just save someone 2 hours of worth of energy trying to resolve an issue, whether it's like a home lab or project or something specific that they're doing. The person that you're connected with, they're probably doing the same thing. And, oh, this person just saved me 2 hours worth of energy. I don't got to do any of this now. I know how to fix it.
Yeah, right.
Now. So,
and what you give is what you get, man.
Exactly.
What you give is what you get. So,
exactly.
What else on LinkedIn? I want to talk a little bit about your fourth point as well, which is learn how to control your emotions. I want to tell you a story that I had, and this was back in my back when I was working in the game industry. And we had at the university I was involved with, we had a pretty active Twitter community around our game program. And it was really fun because, we actually saw a lot of people get employed because of their brilliant activity on Twitter. They were getting noticed and stuff like that. But anyway, so one day I come in, and before, I'm sitting, I go to sit down, and already Twitter is blowing up, and I get to work early. So it's like 7 a.m, and I have all these DMs, right? And I look, and I had 2 of the DMs that I had were from 2 of the most popular, powerful, and famous women in gaming. And they were like, Rob, you need to put a leash on that guy. And I'm like, oh my God, what happened? Right. So I go back into Twitter and I start investigating, and I realized that one of my students had started a debate on a comment that somebody had made about equity in gender equity as far as pay goes in the game industry. Okay. And this person had made a tweet that, it's unfortunate, but women are still being paid less. And my student went to argue the other side that, everybody has the same opportunities, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm not going to even come close to picking sides because this isn't the place for that. But this guy was going to go to his death, to where it got to the point where finally, when I got a hold of him, I said, look, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Because he was going to fight it to the death, and he just kept alienating himself all along. every time he would post, more and more people would just like block him and everything. So, you know what? You have to think before you post. You have to take those emotions out of it. And if you're keeping a positive attitude, I think that's going to make it a lot easier for you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That's the thing with me is that I have really good control of my emotions. For the most part, at least. I do get angry sometimes, but the thing is that I take control of my emotions, and that's because I worked. I did 3 years. I did 3 years of judo, so I did 3 years of jujitsu. And my sensei like really like harnessed my emotions. I was a very angry person before I got into judo. Because of me doing judo and just having the right discipline, I'm not like that anymore. So I'm always thinking about what I say. Your greatest your greatest enemy is what you say. So like your greatest enemy is your tongue. So mind your tongue, mind what you say on social media, mind what you say with your word of mouth, because it could either mess you up or it could either make you or break you. That's basically what it is. You got to be careful with what you say because you don't know who you're offending, who know what you're saying. So yeah, think twice before you say anything. Think twice before you post anything. If you're having a bad day, just please stay away from social media. Don't say anything. You're gonna make yourself look stupid. I'm just saying. So yeah, definitely don't do that. Mhm.
Yeah, and you know what? Put some positive stuff out there. Tell me a little bit, and especially for the people that are somewhat new to LinkedIn and whatnot. Another question that I get all the time is like, I don't know what to post. You know, what kinds of things do you suggest to them that they post?
Post your passion. Like if you're into IT, post about like me, like for example, like we like cybersecurity, right? Like if you have something that is cybersecurity related, like post about your adventures of learning cybersecurity. Maybe you did a lab on Try Hack Me, maybe you did a lab on Hack the Box. Maybe you created your own home lab using AWS or using Azure or GCP. Post about that and see what people say. Because like, what do people are going to say about that? Like, post your actual experience on findings of things you learn. You could even post like resources to help people, or you could even post like a Udemy course you found that was so helpful to you. Like, oh wow, I just learned about how to set up a AWS instance using this Udemy course. You guys should go watch this course. It's absolutely free. So if you post anything, it could be tech related. It doesn't have to be tech related. It could be something as silly, because I see people post things about health as well. Something as silly as you're running or you took a jog or you ran, because at the end of the day, like even those things are very influential. Like if you actually take the time and post that you ran 3 to 4 miles, it's not a lot, but you still ran 3 to 4 miles, right? Someone on your LinkedIn that's connected to you, they might see that in your connections. Oh wow, this guy actually is taking care of his health. Man, I've been slacking on my health. I should do the same thing too. So that you motivate other people. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go exercise because this person exercised too. You can post about pretty much anything, but just keep it professional. That's what it is. So
yeah, absolutely. I've found a lot of interesting recommendations from people just, you know, through the feeds and whatnot. And in fact, and again, this goes back to Twitter and not LinkedIn, but the same principles apply. I think I bought my first game console after working in the game industry I had been in the game industry for 8-9 years, and I still didn't have an Xbox or anything. And one of my students, who was now a designer, had made a post, and he was talking about the Batman game Arkham Asylum, and I can't remember the exact post that he made, but it had to do with the design element of the game and why he liked it so much. But it was from a developer's point of view, not a fanboy. And it resonated with me. And I was like, I got to go get that game. I want to see what he's talking about, you know? And it was so powerful. And then when I got the game, you know, it was like, yeah, it was just incredible. I think the comment had to do something like, you know, I found in this game that I was never doing something that I didn't want to have to do. So in other words, a lot of times you got to fight, you know, this battle in order to move forward, and this battle stinks and blah, blah, blah. No, he was like all in throughout the whole game. So it was really cool. And yeah, I went out and bought an Xbox after that.
It's funny.
Yeah. So what those are great tips on things to post and everything. Another question that we get a lot is how do you it sounds like a lot of your followers and whatnot came to you, but I'm sure there are times where you had to go out and go to them. What do you think is a good method for outreaching people and a good reason to outreach people and add them to your network?
So for me, I always talk about LinkedIn first. Build a genuine connection. So a lot of people add people just to add them. So like, oh, I need you to look at my resume, or I need help right now. Like, that's not how you message someone. So on LinkedIn, there is their add a note section. So if you actually go into the person's actual profile, go into view profile and actually go in there, you could actually add a friend, but you could add a note to it. So if you add like a little note and say, hi, my name is Kevin. I see you work cybersecurity. I'm gonna follow you because I like to learn more about you and see what you do for the community. So you want to like keep it like a basic message. You don't gotta ask for a favor. Don't ask for a favor. The first thing you literally do is you build a genuine connection with that person, whoever you add, and you let it build up. Like literally, you let it build up. Like literally, I'm talking about because this happened to me. You literally let it build up. So like they comment on the post that you got of this person. They comment on the post, you like their post. They comment on the post, you comment on their post, and you keep doing that for a couple of days, maybe like a week or two, and then finally you reach out to them. Okay, I've been following you for XY amount of time. I like to know more about what you do in your industry, and what you work in, and I like to take you out for an actual virtual Zoom coffee where we could chat for 15, 20 minutes. I'd like to know more about you. So that's how you build a connection. You literally you comment on their post, you respond to them, you write on their post, you build a genuine connection that way. And if you have the time, build like invite them for coffee through Zoom, or if they live near you or they live around you, you can actually go and invite them for food and just build those connections. So
yeah. I agreed with the sending the note thing. I get so many connections with no notes, and anymore the connections with notes are all people trying to sell me something, but one caution that I would give to the people out there though is it takes time to establish that relationship. And like my students have heard me say in so many different times, when you go into an interview situation, you want it to be a conversation, not an interrogation. And a lot of times that's kind of what you're kind of setting up through LinkedIn, is just having those conversations, being a part of the conversation. If you get in and you like everything somebody posts, or you comment every time they post, that's probably going to be a little bit closer to stalking than it is, relationship building. So give it time, let it build, let it be a natural thing that happens. And I think you'll benefit a lot more.
Yeah, I agree with you. It takes time. It's not going to happen in one day, but that's what I tell everyone. Build a genuine connection, get to know the other person. That happened to me, like literally, because I give back so much in the LinkedIn community. When I reached out for help, like everyone said yes to me. I didn't even have to do anything because people knew who I was, because of my reputation and because of my brand, and because I take the time to help people. Like I'll literally sit here and I'll literally sit here with you. Like if you don't know how to do Active Directory, I will go over that like with you. Like, okay, let's go over Active Directory together. Tell me where you're lost at. Like I'll be more than happy to explain that to you. Like, I'll literally sit here with you and go over a certain topic with you if you want me to go over a certain topic with you. So because of that those genuine connections that I build, because I work cybersecurity now, I didn't know anything about cybersecurity. I literally just reached out. People came back to me like, Kev, you need help? You need help? Oh, Kevin needs help? Oh, come here, I'll help you, Kevin. You took care of us, let's take care of you.
So, it's a great feeling, man. Yeah. And you know what? And that to you, I know, is just the residual effects of the benevolence. I mean, you do it because A, it's the right thing to do, and B, because you enjoy doing it. You enjoy helping people, and not because you're looking to get something back. You know, it just so happens that because you do that, everybody wants to give back, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. God, what else do we need to hit on with LinkedIn, man? Because, you know, it's funny, when I started getting involved in Twitter and creating communities and stuff like that, social media was a lot different than what it is now. You know, now it's TikTok and, you know, maybe Instagram. And even the other day, I was talking to somebody that was kind of leading me to believe that Instagram is no longer hip, even that now it's all TikTok and I don't know what else, man. But what do you see as the future of social media? I think LinkedIn is here to stay. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, LinkedIn's definitely here to stay. Most of the people that I'm friends with now or that I work with, I found them through LinkedIn. I didn't go anywhere else, literally through LinkedIn. And it's all virtual. Like, you don't have to. That's the cool thing about LinkedIn, is that you don't have to physically be in the same room as the other person. But
it's this generation's water cooler, man.
Yeah, but the thing is when you meet that person in person, it's such an amazing experience. Like, I have met so many people in person, and it feels so good. Like, when you meet these actual people, oh, your name is blah blah blah. Yeah. Oh, nice to meet you. Oh, so I've been talking to you the entire time on LinkedIn. Oh my goodness. Oh, so it does. LinkedIn is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And I literally, because I'm so into LinkedIn branding, I met Yellowtail on LinkedIn. So
yeah, nice.
Anything's possible. So.
Yeah, that's it's going to be interesting to see how things evolve, you know, even over the next 10 years. Twitter seems to be kind of a mess right now, and God only knows if that's even going to survive. But I think that, you know, LinkedIn has such a niche for keeping it on the professional side that there's always going to be a need for it. And I just want to make sure that there have been times over the last couple of years where it started getting political and everything. And I've even seen some friends of mine, like, you know, post things like, why are you putting this here? You know, and it was kind of good that they called them out on it, because, you know, it really wasn't the place, you know.
Agree.
So what's next for you, man? You're heading into a new gig right now and just getting started and everything. How's that been going so far?
For me, really, really well, really good. I can't complain. My manager is super supportive. I've been doing training every day. I'm learning about, so I'm basically, if anyone that's hearing this, I'm basically work in IM role. So incident access management. So I deal a lot with incident reporting, incidents that happen on the fly. So like, by that, like, Kev, what does that mean? Because IM is so huge, it's so big. So what I'm dealing with is common Active Directory attacks. So a lot of hackers try to get into AD, Active Directory domain controllers. So I'm dealing with that right now. So I deal with hackers. I try to attack our systems. I also deal with defending our systems. I also deal with dealing with logs, and I also deal with the cool part is I deal with putting honeypots. So I put like fake PCs that are not our PCs, so hackers could get into it. So then I could track these hackers that come into our systems, and then I could somehow block them coming in after that, and they can't really do anything
cool.
after that. So it's pretty.
It sounds
cool.
like fun, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you have one of those shoes like Get Smart, man, with the little telephone built in? You know, remember the old? I'm showing my age now, so yeah. But hey, Kevin, man, I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us, man. Are there any final tips that or any words of wisdom that you would like to leave for our listeners as far as it pertains not just to LinkedIn or social media, but mindset or any new topics that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, for me is so I do train students and interns, and I do work a lot with students and people that are trying to break into IT. The number one thing I teach you, if you're brand new to IT, like literally day one, I don't teach you anything technical. I teach you nothing technical. Day one, I teach you all about mindset. So the first thing I literally teach you is the ability to embrace rejection. So if they're having the right mindset, embrace rejection. At the end of the day, you're gonna get rejected a lot, but someone will open the door for you and give you an opportunity. But you gotta, it's like watching a Rocky movie. I literally saw a Rocky movie last night. You're gonna have to take all the hits. Take all the hits and get up. Take all the hits and get up. But eventually, at the end of the day, you're gonna knock it out of the park and you're gonna get a job. So just have the right mindset. That's just for me. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I like it, man. It's rejection's not easy. It's part of the game though. It's part of the process. And like I tell my students, if you are not hearing no, then you are not doing it correctly. Okay. So if you go out in a job search and you don't get one no, something's wrong. Your approach, So it is one of those, you got to kind of assess things as you keep moving forward and you figure out where the disconnect is happening. So Kevin, thank you again for coming on, man. And I really appreciate your time. I don't want to keep you long because I know that new job awaits, and maybe we can have you back on again in a few months and get an update on how things are going and everything.
Sounds good to me. Thank you for having me here. I greatly appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man. And for all of you out there, thank you for tuning in. This is Yellowtail Talks Tech. My name is Rob Coble, and I appreciate you listening. If you have any comments, suggestions, ideas for future episodes that you would like to hear, you'll find me on Slack. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. I want to thank Kevin once again for coming on, and again, thank you all for listening. Talk to you soon.